our relationship is a little different. Nike has grown a lot with me, and I feel like we've grown apart in the past, and then we grew together, and then we got lock and step, and now I have a building and all the things, and also
she has a building at Nike, by the way.
Not many people have that. Not many.
But it was really important for me at the time, when we weren't really necessarily meshing and growing together, that one of the big things for me was I said, I don't see myself. Every time I have a meeting, I don't see me. I see so many people that don't look like me, and it's exhausting, and like, I don't see enough women. And it was a really, at the time it was with Mark Parker, and it was a very interesting conversation, and kudos to Mark, because he literally changed what Nike is internally. If you guys want to see Nike internally, it is so different than what it used to be. And all because of those conversations that I continue to push. And now it's just like, I'm like, okay, we need a little diversity still too, right? But it's a good thing. I love it. I love it so much because all the bosses are women, are Black women. And I absolutely love that. And it feels good to know that I had a first hand in that. And it feels good to know that a company that big could listen to an athlete like me and say, okay, we hear you, and we're actually going to do something about this. And we also notice that there can be a lot of change made. And so my relationship with Nike is interesting. I'm always like, I'll text the CEO like, I'm at Disney and I see Under Armour here. Why is Nike not here? And he's like, on it. And so I'm always trying to build the business because that's what I do. I mean, and I don't even realize it. Aha moment. I'm building businesses daily with investing and talking to founders. And so I guess without even thinking about it, I'm doing the same at Nike on a different level because they're Nike. But still, every little bit counts. And I love that the CEO now, he also hears me kind of like Mark Parker did. And so they're so open to change. They're so open to like listening and making it a great place. And so, yeah, I think that my relationship with them is really, really evolved into something deeper than an athlete wearing Nike clothes.
Let me just follow up on that, because essentially what you're saying is like, you advocated for more women, more Black women to be in the office, right? And that was bothering you. And they realized how valuable you were, and they changed their system for that. Were you ever a little apprehensive or even nervous to be like, okay, well, I am who I am, but this is a, multi-billion-dollar company, maybe? Because a lot of times people say athletes, maybe they don't speak out enough, or they don't want to ruin relationships, or they don't want to. What gave you that confidence to say, I'm not comfortable with this. I have influence, and I have enough confidence in my influence to make changes?
I'm not afraid of stuff like that. And there's so many things that I do that I don't talk about, because I truly believe when I don't think I've ever even told that story, or maybe very rare. But there's so many things that I do that I'm not looking to be patted on my back for. Like I do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's gonna help other people. So outside of this room, I mean, that story might, who knows if people get to know that story much more, but.
Invest Fest exclusive, that's what we call that one.
But I wasn't afraid because I was exhausted. I literally was exhausted of seeing another designer or another person that just didn't understand what I wanted. And it's so funny now, I don't even have to say much. They get it. If you're designing for someone that looks like me, you need someone maybe that looks like you too to get it, to get my body, to get what I would like. It's unspoken. You just get it, and so it's a difference. So to be the best athlete at the time, the best lady athlete, or man.
Whoa. Nah. This is not up
You didn't hear it, I said or man.
I heard what you said, and we might not debate that either. We said what we said. The greatest athlete.
The greatest athlete, and to not have representation, I was exhausted, and it was absolutely no fear. It was actually frustration, and I don't think I was this calm when I spoke to the CEO at all. But I think he heard the passion behind this has to change. And now, like I said, now when I was just at Nike HQ, it was so many people there in positions, top positions, black women, just in top positions, black men, that just didn't have that opportunity before. And to see that was just good, because also diversity is real. Like, you get different results when you have diversity at the table. Like, everyone needs to be at the table. It just can't be just one person. It has to be like everybody, because the world is not one person, it's everybody. You really need everybody to see different views and different point of views. How would this person feel about that? How will that person feel about this? It just all comes together a little bit better when you can just the hope, everyone there. So, I wasn't afraid, and like I said, that he was very amazing, because a lot of people, he didn't have to listen to me, so I could give him just as much credit, if not more, because he's the one that actually put it into play. And that's what I always say, we need supporters too. We can say what we want to say, but we need people to support, to push the message through.
I'm glad you said the word support, because it makes me think of where the biggest support comes from. And that's usually home, and that's usually family. Obviously, your partner is extremely successful in the world of business. You're extremely in the world of business. Do those conversations ever collide at home, or do we keep that separate? Right? Do we bring business? Do we pitch ideas? Do we run ideas by each other? Because obviously, publicly traded company, extremely successful fund. How do those conversations go?
We really do not talk about business at all. Our kids are really young and pretty wild, actually. With all due respect, one especially is super wild. So when we're at home, we just basically chasing and playing with them, and they take a lot of our time. And I think we work so much, respectively, we just kind of want to come home and unwind and relax. Now, if there is something to be said, I often ask, because he's also a fantastic designer, he's great at coding, or just so many things. So I'll ask questions. If there's any questions, I'm usually asking them, because he has a lot more experience in that stuff. So, and I always feel like I want to learn. And that's why I said the other day, I was like, I just need to get smarter. So I got to keep up with him. He's always learning something new. He was teaching himself coding a couple of months ago, a new version of it from AI, and he was writing a program for Olympia, so she can do it. When she does work, she puts it in the program and it logs it, and he sees it, and I was like, okay, I got to get smarter, because none of that is making sense to me. I'm going to fall back. So it's really kind of fun that way.
What industries or technologies do you think will create the biggest opportunities over the next 10 years or so?
I don't know. I feel like outside of AI, I wonder, I think events. I think because with the growth of AI, I feel like there's not going to be a lot of real things, so live events, whether that's concerts and finding a way to monetize that, whether that's through ticket selling or just having more live events, maybe even at smaller arenas, having more intimate live events. I think that's why sport is doing so well now. So I think sport will continue to grow. I think women's sports will continue to grow. There's a new volleyball league. There's a new flag football league that's going to come for women as well. So I feel like those things are going to continue to grow. I think there's going to be some deep space tech that's going to continue to grow in that industry. And obviously, AI is going to grow every direction. So I think those are some of the things.
I wonder, as you look at the landscape of the path that you've trailblazed, and you're looking at the young, especially black women that are playing tennis now. Obviously, when you see them, and you've competed against a lot of them, I know Coco Gauff talks about how much she idolizes you. When you watch them in the world of professionalism, in terms of just playing tennis, how do you feel as they get into the world of business, right? We see sponsorships, we see deals. Are you giving them a call saying, hey, this is something you should do, hey, shy away from that? Like, what role do you see, or do you see a role for yourself in the mentorship of the next generation of the great athletes?
Well, when it comes to other people getting their coin, I mind my own business. I stay in my lane. No, I think it's great. You know, anytime I see someone, you know, winning off the court, I think it's, you know, it's great. I believe that there's space for everyone. You know, this world is so big, and there's so many things, so much money and these sponsors for these players to go around. Like, I feel like it's more of an encouragement, you know, and I think it's great that they can go out there and get what they can while they can, because the life of an athlete is usually short, you know. I don't know how short anymore, but usually used to be short. So I always feel good about it. I feel like, kudos. And I usually try to like the ads, and, you know, I always try to like the photos, and I see how the ads go, and, you know, it's pretty cool. I'm all about it.
What advantage do you think you have over somebody that may have came up through the traditional venture route, like somebody from Silicon Valley, you coming from being an athlete and now being in the VC? What advantage point do you have that they may not have?
I think in venture you see a ton of failure. Well, in early stage venture, because I'm in the early stage space. We see a lot of companies that don't make it. I think the advantage that I have is the resilience of showing up and understanding that, you know, you don't do well every day, but you continue to show up every day, and you gotta stay positive. And so I think it's, you know, it's something that I've done as an athlete, you know, and also just the value of hard work. I think for me, there's nothing too good for me to do. I literally will do everything when it comes to hard work. And I think that's because of my background and, you know, growing up as an athlete, growing up in Compton, like all of the things. I think that it's really become a competitive advantage.
I want to add, you've had a tremendous career. Thinking back, obviously it comes with ebbs and flows, right? You have pits and falls. Is there a mistake that you look back now and say, I'd be willing to make that again because of all of the lessons that you learned from going through it?
Well, in sport or in life?
I'm interested in both.
Huh? Or both? In life, is there a mistake that, that mistake.
Let's go sport.
What was the question?
Is there something that you'd be willing to go through again because of the lessons you learned from going through it? You had a flashback just now? You had a flashback just now. We're gonna talk about that backstage, because now I need to know.
I would do that lesson again. And in tennis, yeah, you know, I had lost a tough match once, and it sucked. But if it meant, but I won so much after that I would probably lose that match again, even though it was really hard. It was a super hard loss for me. But I learned a lot from it.
So you're back.
But there are some things I wouldn't do again too. Like, that list is way longer though.
You're back, right? And now the question.
Hold on, you said she's back and not one person's clapping? The great one is back!
Oh, just for fun.
Nah.
Every now and then.
We gotta help people understand that this is not an everyday thing.
No,
when
it's
they
not
see
an
great,
everyday thing. You never know where I'm gonna pop up.
that is also true.
Yes.
You're back, but you know it's always the comeback's always hard. So you know you got new tennis players that grew up on you. Now they're your competition, and now they're gutting for you, right? So what's the thought process? You don't have anything to prove, obviously.
No.
You're the greatest tennis player of all time. You won 23 Grand Slams. You've done it. what is the thought process in you coming back? Like why? And what is your goal? Is your goal to win a Grand Slam, win Wimbledon? Like, is that your goal?
No, God, no. Honestly, I just wanted my daughters to see me in a different light. You know, especially my older daughter. She was so young when I transitioned, or retired, or whatever, evolved. I'm coming undone. I come undone after an hour. I don't know what I'm gonna say next. So I really thought it would be nice for her to see me. You know, I don't know, I feel like she doesn't, appreciate what mommy has done in a way, or doesn't understand it. So I'm like, okay, you need to understand this. But also, no, I think it's really cool for her to kind of just see what hard work looks like, because she sees me out there every day. Not for long, because I have different boundaries and I'm balancing it out. But, you know, I want her to understand what is possible. And my other daughter, she's
That's the wild one.
glad I had a night off. She's fun, but you know, I think she could see a little bit, maybe. She's fun.
When we've had the privilege of watching you grow, obviously in the world of tennis, in the world of business, you've done it all. To many, it feels like you are successful. I wonder how you measure success at this stage of your life. What does that look like? Like, what are the metrics to say, you know what, that was successful?
I think if we're talking about tennis, I think it would be, which I never thought I would say in my life, winning a few matches, not a tournament. Yikes.
Oh boy.
And also because, like, I don't have time. Like, I need to go. Also, because also I think measuring some success for me is also just how I am throughout the day. Because I am a full-time mom, and I love being a mom, and I'm always with my kids every single day. I even do my work around the kids. So for me, I've lived my life, and now I live for them, to be honest. And so I measure my success on, you know, did I cook dinner? How did I do? Did they like it? You know, if the kid isn't at school, like, you know, did it go well? How many meltdowns did the little baby have? And was I calm in those meltdowns? Because I wanted to be able to melt down okay, and me to be calm and not go crazy. You know, it's hard, you know, to show up every day for a kid. And it also makes me appreciate my parents so much, because they were like, I don't know how they did it. They were so amazing. Especially my dad going to tennis every day with us. I tell you, I cannot do that with my daughters. I'm like, you on your own, I need a day off, or let's do something else. So I measure my success on just how I am as a parent now. And, you know, I read all the books, like, you know, what to say to a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old, and, you know, how to communicate. And so did I do a good job with that? And yeah, that's kind of how it is for me now.
Amen.
What's some last words that you can give to a group of people that's trying to get to the next level? Like I said, there's various next levels, but you're somebody that have actually achieved the highest level, right? So what will be your parting words in a sea of entrepreneurs, investors, and people that's really trying to better their situation? What do you want to leave the crowd with?
Well, first of all, I haven't seen the highest level. I think there's always room for improvement, and I'll leave you with that. Never get too complacent, never think you're at the highest level. There's always someone doing better or working harder to beat you or to do better or, you know, more successful, and for me, that's okay. I'm not trying to be the biggest, baddest in the house. I'm just trying to be the best, my personal best. And I think everyone has to realize that your personal best might not be, you know, going to the moon or whatever, you know, but each goal counts. You know, like for me, my goal is just to be a great mom, and that's my biggest goal. And that's a huge goal. And so I think that just setting whatever goal you is, don't be ashamed that whatever that goal is, it's fine. Just stick to it.
Well, Serena, thank you for taking time out of your schedule.
Thank
Make
you.
some noise for Serena.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand on your feet for the greatest of all time.
Thank you so much.